Hello guys, welcome back to your own channel Wisdom Bloom. So today we will take acids, bases and salts, which is the second chapter from chemistry portion of class 10th science. So in this particular lecture we will be dealing about what is an acid, what is a base and what is a salt, and some theories regarding acids and bases. So at first introduction, humans always want to know its surroundings. It is the quest of human life to categorize substance for easier approach. Now we will classify matters into three major categories, that are acids, bases and salts. In the coming chapter we will be discussing about other three categories, which are metals, nonmetals and metalloids. But in this chapter we will classify matter in these three groups, that are acids, bases and salts. Now, what is an acid and what is a base and what is a salt? An acid is a substance that has the pH value less than 7. If you have seen the pH paper, in that pH scale there are numbers from 0 to 14. So 7 is the neutral value. Now what do you mean by neutral value? Neutral means a substance must be neutral if it has neither acidic property nor basic property, right? It is called as acidically or basically neutral. If I talk about electrically neutral, then it means it has neither positive charge nor a negative charge, right? So an acid is a substance that has a pH value less than 7. It means an acid can have the pH value starting from 0 and ending up to 6.9. And what is a base? A base is a substance that has the pH value more than 7. It means it could have the pH value starting from 7.1 and ending to 14. And what is a salt? A salt is a different thing. It has nothing to do with the pH scale. Okay, I have written that a salt is a substance that has the pH value equal to 7, but it is in the case of a neutral salt. The salt can be acidic, the salt can be basic, or the salt can be neutral. So the neutral value is 7, therefore the pH of a neutral salt is 7. If it is an acidic salt, then the pH value will decrease, and if it is a basic salt, the pH value will increase from 7. Now what is a salt? Salt means when an acid and a base react and their ions reorganize themselves and form new compound along with water, it is called as a salt, right? For example, hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide reacts with each other and forms sodium chloride and water. Then the sodium chloride is the salt because sodium ion from the sodium hydroxide and chloride ion from hydrochloric acid has combined. Now, theories related to acids and bases. There are a number of theories related to acids and bases, but we will discuss about three major theories, namely Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowry theory, which is also known as Protonic theory of acids and bases, and Causal-Lewis theory. But in our NCRT, only Arrhenius theory is given. Therefore, our main focus will be on Arrhenius theory. Now, what is Arrhenius theory? There was a scientist called Svante Arrhenius. Svante Arrhenius, for the first time, proposed a systematic theory for explaining the nature of acids and bases. We will discuss this in two parts. First, postulates of Arrhenius theory, and second, limitations to Arrhenius theory. Now, postulates of Arrhenius theory. According to this theory, an acid is a substance that contains hydrogen but are also able to liberate hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. For example, hydrogen ion is present in hydrochloric acid and it is able to liberate it when it is present in aqueous solution. When HCl is added to water, the ions of the hydrochloric acid differentiates, or the hydrochloric acid dissociates into its respective ions, that is hydrogen ion and chloride ion. And what is a base? A base is a substance that contains hydrogen and is able to liberate OH negative ions or hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. For example, sodium hydroxide. Sorry, I have written something wrong here. It should be OH, OH negative. So when the NaOH is added to H2O, NaOH differentiates or dissociates into Na positive and OH negative, right? Then this is a base. When it is able to release an OH negative ion, one or more OH negative ion, and acid must release an H positive ion, right? So all acids or bases whose hydrogen or hydroxide ions ionize completely are called as strong acids. What do you mean by ionize completely? For example, hydrochloric acid, it has one hydrogen and one chloride. When it is dissolved in water, hydrogen separates and chloride separates. There is no hydrogen left with chloride. But if I talk about CH3 COOH, if it is present in water, if it is added to water, the hydrogen positive will separate out and a CH3COO negative will be present, will be left over. So there are other hydrogen present with the rest of the compound. So therefore CH3COOH is a weak acid, right? So neutralization according to Arrhenius theory. What is neutralization according to Arrhenius? Neutralization is defined as the reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water. So I have told that if hydrogen chloride and sodium hydroxide combine together, the hydrogen positive ion and chloride negative ion will separate out, and sodium positive ion and hydroxide negative ion, not hydroxide negative, OH negative, which is called as hydroxide ion, will separate out. Now this Na positive will combine with this Cl negative, and this H positive will combine with this OH negative. So therefore it will form NaCl plus H2O. It will form NaOH plus H2O, right? So this is a salt, and this complete reaction is known as neutralization reaction, right? So for today, up to this much only. Thank you for attending the classes. So thank you again, and keep watching these videos. This will help you a lot. And please hit the subscribe button and like if you like it.